perspectives. We see a lot of times how we've used Twitter as a very good channel to like rant, be very analytical, digress, cut down on, you know, different things that our leaders are doing in Nigeria today. So this town hall meeting will give us an opportunity to hear from different people, and most importantly, an opportunity to learn from people. So today, our policy focus is simple. Is a citizens-led conversation to share our thoughts, to share our perspectives about the coming 2023 elections. And it's also for persons like you and I to share our expectations about the kind of political leaders we should be expecting to vote in as public servants. I also believe that is also an opportunity for us to sensitize one another. We are not in the era of, oh, I'm not going to vote, because that was something that I really observed that happened the last time, where youths like me said, what's the need of voting? My vote doesn't count. So today I'm hoping that our town hall meeting will be able to change that narrative or break whatever bias that we have where we say our votes don't count. Our vote absolutely counts. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on board. I just want to shout out to everybody. Shout out to God's Gift. Thank you so much for joining. Okpeyemi, thank you. Ayodele Lawrence, good to see you. Buhari, welcome. Christiana Pabio, thank you so much for coming on board. Desmond Okocha, and please, let's make the chat box very loud if we can. Please put in emojis. Put an emoji of how you feel, put an emoji of laughter, put an emoji of anticipation. Please just, oh my God, Ruth's in the house and she has fire. Yes, thank you so much. Desmond Okocha, PhD, welcome on board. Please put emojis on the chat box. Like, let's just get energetic today. Dr. Joel, pleasure to see you here. Anytime, Sophie. Good to see you. Ezekiel Abiodun, Fumilayo, oh my God, Godwin, thank you so much for that emoji. Ezekiel, thank you. Fumilayo, good to see you. Lillian, oh, thank you for joining. Olalekan Omisore, thank you for joining. Olumide Onabanjo, Omoumi Alakija, Prince, thank you. Richard, my boss, thank you so much for coming. Ruth, thank you. This is amazing. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everyone for coming on board. I know how Saturdays are like our selfish days where we're like closed down for work. We just want to have time to, you know, rest, catch up with friends, do laundry. Laundry. But, you know, you all still gave this time for this. Thank you, Ayodele, Ezekiel. I see all your emojis on the chat box. Thank you all so much for joining. Please also, I want us to also do something differently. I know this is new, but let's make those that are on the WhatsApp group, let's make them anticipate to join here. So please also put certain kind of fire and enthusiasm on the NiGAC WhatsApp platform, like on the WhatsApp. Just make noise, let them know that something is happening in one room like that and they need to enter the gist. You know why? Sometimes, okay, you know, so I'm sure maybe some of us have heard Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a is a wonderful tool, but you know, I see it as a very strong tool for gossip. Now, let me explain why. There was one particular time last year when I don't know whether people had this viral image of somebody that leaked Dangote's bot, and you know, there was this room that people set up, and we found out like we had over 20,000 people in that room. So, and they even had this research, they did this survey, and they realized sadly that the buzzes, when I say buzz, I mean gist, conversation is always evolving around gossip. So whenever you hear certain time of thing as a gossip, the next thing is you set up a room, or you set up a room in a channel in Clubhouse, and you find out that people are joining. It's not like they really like gossip per se, but they just want they just want to be inspired. They want to be like, wow, so this actually happened. So, but we'll be doing it in a very, very diplomatic way, in the NiGAC style way. Please just throw some kind of perspective on the WhatsApp group. Let people know that something indeed is happening here. Okay, so before I proceed, I would love the opportunity to hear from the NiGAC core team. We would love them to give, like, say 2-3 minutes on sharing like their expectations for today. Then we can carry on and, you know, get started. So I will yield the mic to NiGAC for their opening remark. Ready, Elder? Elder Richard, who is going to be speaking on behalf of NiGAC and giving an opening remark. Yeah, Olalekon, I see you.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. I'll be speaking on behalf of Elder. Is in a noisy place. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Amanda, for moderating so far. So what this policy dialogue is really going to focus on is it's going to be a citizen-led conversation to share thoughts about the 2023 election and citizens' expectation about the kind of political leaders we should expect to vote in as public servants. So the floor is going to be open to people that have shown interest. We have like over 15 people that have already shown interest. So we are going, Amanda, the moderator, is going to call them one after the other to share their thoughts. So we hope this is going to be an engaging moment and insightful one. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining.
Yes, thank you so much, Okpeyemi. And yes, officially again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. So this is how it's going to roll. I'm happy that this is on record. The good thing about it is not only is it a good opportunity for people who couldn't be part of today's event get to refer to it, but it's also a good one for us to internalize it. A lot of times, for example, maybe you have a diary and you always get to or journal, you always get to highlight how your day is like. There is this satisfaction that you have when you go back to that journal after 2 years and see how you were able to itemize things, how you were able to learn. The reason I'm saying this is our recording, I would love an opportunity for us to still go back maybe months after or week after and see the kind of things that we said, hear also from what our colleagues said, and see how we can bring our voices together for the common good of our country in the coming elections. So having said that, I will read out the names accordingly. So you know the number that you are going to go at, like you know your number, so that before we call your name, you know that you are next. So I will read out the names accordingly. So our first speaker was going to be Olumide Onabanjo. The second person, number 2, Michael Adedotun Oke. Number 3, Akindele Akinlosoto. I'm really sorry if I don't pronounce your names well. Please forgive me. Number 4, Fatoki Joshua Akintunde. Number 5, Akombo Kenneth Kato. Number 6, Amatulatif Ishak Anifowoshe. Number 7, Aliyu Isa. Number 8, Ruth Adodo. Number 9, Faith Paulinos. Number 10, Oladayo Ogumbowale. Number 11, Bonaventure Bobai Ashio. Number 12, myself, Amanda Obidike. Number 13, Temitope Popoola. Number 14, Niniola Owolabi. Number 15, Temitope Adeyemi. So these are our wonderful lined up speakers that would be sharing their perspectives today. I don't know how many minutes. Do you, Okpeyemi, do you think we should time people or we should just let them speak as they go?
Please. Yes, please, 5 minutes each. I can be the timekeeper, so I will let you know.
Please. Yes. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. So you'll be the timekeeper. You know when we start. if it's maybe like 1 minute to go, you just put it on the chat box. That way the person knows that he or she is about to round off. So having said that, I will call our first speaker today. I'm trying to look out. Oh wow, I see him already. He's the man with the face mask. So please, ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome Olumide Onabajo.
Thank you, our great moderator. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I won't want to waste our time. I'll keep to that 5 minutes given to me. And I appreciate this platform for this wonderful opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting, so I just need to excuse myself to do this, please. So let me quickly say this. Yes, I don't know why I'm the first person to speak, but I am an aspirant. So it's a great privilege now that I have this opportunity. And like the topic says, 2023 elections and the citizens' expectation. During my tour, I've been able to meet several people, and I've been able to hear from one or two and their mindset towards 2023 election. And I can tell you that many people still do not believe in this election. They categorize everyone, all politicians, as one, but that is not the case. But I want us to understand something. Even as NiGAC, we must, I think we should have a platform that we're going to use to sensitize people. Because if we allow the wrong people into office, it will affect every one of us. People with wrong policies, people with ideals, dead ideals. Look at people there. Many of them don't even know what to do again. All what they know is just to go there. They want to make money. Money is in politics, and that is the only reason why they want to join politics. And in my home constituency, where we have someone that has done first term, second term as a rep, and is still going for third term from one of the political parties, I won't mention name, still going for third term. And this constituency, if I want to target in Ogun State, is a constituency that is filled with a lot of abandoned projects everywhere. No, in my constituency, I don't think there is a road that you can fly for 5 minutes that you not enter into deep pit. There is no, that you cannot move 5 kilometers on a good road. Everywhere is scattered. And these are the people that are still going around canvassing that they still want to continue in office. Are we going to continue with this? No. So as NiGAC, we must as well find a means of sensitizing our people. I won't mention the name of my party here because I'm not canvassing for vote here. So we are talking generally concerning this coming election, because if we fail to do the right thing in one way or the other, it's affecting every one of us. There are youth out there that knows what to do. There are youth out there that understands that if we allow wrong people into office and they give us policies that are wrong, it's affecting every one of us. So what are the things that we need to do? We must sensitize people that they must go out to get their PVC. It's not about going out there protesting. We have done a lot of that. We did NSAS. Here we are. It worked. Yes, I can say that it worked. But aside that, we must also go out there to get our PVC. This is the fourth round, the last phase. And if we get our PVC, not just getting the PVC because we need it in the bank or we need it to register for something, but we must go out there to use it on the due day. 8 hours of suffering is better than 40,030 hours that we're going to spend in the 4 years if we're not careful. Now look at what is happening now. Somebody from Lagos State as a senator that has served 2 terms now want to contest the same position, leaving Lagos State to come to Ogun State to contest as the same senator. because they want to use that position to compensate somebody. Is this how we continue? A political party that is selling presidential form for 100 million naira, and the salary of a president is not up to 100 million for 4 years. Now tell me what will happen. The other party is selling presidential form for 50 million naira. I can't just imagine what is happening in this country. And why are they doing this? Because they want youth that can do this job, that are ready to work, that have ideas, that have the ideology of how governance work, but they don't want them to come to office. So what do? They just increase the form so that you'll not be able to get it. I'm sure even those that are into Yahoo, to get 100 million is very hard. Talk less of those that are doing legitimate work, that really wants to work. Now, how do we get this? How do we do this? Now, thank God for parties out there that are, like my party now, they gave free forms to youth from 25 to 35 years, free forms. As long as you know what you want to do, they screen you. If you're interested in politics, if you are interested in elective offices, they screen you. And when you are good to go, they let you go. We must come to realization that Nigeria must work for all, not just for few. We must stop these cabals in 2023, and we must vote in. I love a comedy skit that I watched this morning by Mr. Macaroni. It speaks a lot to many of us if we understand. And for us to get it right in 2023, this is where I hang up. We must change our mindset. Until we do that, we are going nowhere. The mindset is that our vote counts. And thank God now that we have the electoral bill that is being signed. So we must sensitize people. The way we review policies, let's just sit down and tell people that, see, this time around, your vote will count. Just go out there and do the right thing. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Olumide. Very well spoken. And I like what you said, which I wanted to add that is about the mindsets. So we can do our best in terms of sensitizing people to go all out there. But if we decide that we have had it enough, you don't really need so much motivation to decide that I need to go there. Because there was this analogy that we found out that most times why election results are being rigged is because the election papers that are sent back are not filled. But imagine if everybody turned up to the polling units, there would be no platform for you to thumbprint and everything. Then in responding to one of your concerns in terms of NiGAC, setting up initiative or interventions that inspire people. I think we had 1 or 2 programs early this year and late last year that we were trying to increase female participation in election. But before I go to the next speaker, who is Michael Adedotun, okay, get ready. Ogene has one thing to say. Please, Ogene, just 1 minute, please.
Okay, hello.
Hello, Ogene.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I want to say a big congratulations to Olumide. Yeah, I didn't even know you were contesting, so congrats. It takes a, should I say, it takes guts and courage to want to contest for an elected position in Nigeria, especially outside the 2 big parties that we have. It takes extra guts. So thank you, and I wish you all the best. So for me, I was expecting that probably maybe when other people have chipped in their own opinion, I would just come in. But all I just want to say is that that I think what Olumide said, that I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need a lot of sensitization. It's the truth. Looking at it right now, I don't want to give up, but all I know is that we've been badly damaged. Our psyche as a nation, as a people, people don't even believe in your process anymore. People are suffering, yes, and they don't even know how to go about it. They don't know how to even get out of it. We tell them, oh, get your PVC, then they tell you, will it work? You know, and so it's a very, very crazy situation that we find ourselves. So, but I think we need a lot of convincing to do in the spirit of, I don't know, maybe before the next election. I don't know how we're going to do it because we don't have the capacity. I wish the National Orientation Agency can probably take this as a big, as something that is a big task to sensitize a lot of Nigerians. The politicians are definitely doing their own to differentiate a lot of people. You know, they are making, for instance, now a lot of people don't even have their PVC. And the process of getting these PVCs is not even easy. You know, maybe in the local government, just you have to go to the local government. There are no physical spaces to go and get your PVC right now. What about those people that cannot even log on into the INEC site to do what the old many stuff? No physical spaces to get your PVC. So we need a lot of sensitization. So maybe later on, the NiGAC management board, or we'll just sit down and think, what are those little ways we can do to sensitize more people, to go get their PVC. I think maybe I will just end for now, and we'll talk more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ogene. And we wish you all the best, Mr. Olumide Onabajo. So the next speaker that we have on board is Michael Adedotun Oke. Akindele Akinlosotu, please get ready. Do we have Michael on call today? Michael. Okay, I see no Michael here. Please, let's chat. I don't know if the person is on the NiGAC policy stakeholder WhatsApp, but please let's just buzz them that something good is happening here. That way we could get as many people on board as possible. So do we have Akindele Akinlosotu here? Akindele, are you ready? I don't think Akindele is also on the call. Do we have Joshua Akintunde Fatoki? Joshua. Please, let's find them anywhere they ask. Find them, look for them. We need their perspective. We need to hear from them here. Okay. What about Kenneth Kato Akombo? Kenneth, do we have you on the call? Kenneth. Oh my God. Okay, do we have Ishak Anifowoshe Amatulatif here, please? Not here too. Aliyu Issa, I saw that name somewhere. Yes, Aliyu Issa, it's your turn. Please, we would like you to share your perspective. You have the floor.
Hello, thank you.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I firstly want to congratulate Mr. Olumide Onabajo QCA for contesting a political office. Wish you good luck, sir. I want to talk on this medium on quality by accountability. Quality by accountability. Which elected politician we can elect by quality and accountability of such politician. I hope you are getting me. Hello?
We can hear you, Mr. Aliyu. Please proceed.
Okay, so thank you. So elected politicians should remain accountable to those they are elected to serve. If Nigerian politicians knew that retaining their position was based on their actual performance, there will be a greater incentive for effective behavior and the to remain accountable to the people. That level of accountability would also reduce the chances of poor performing politicians getting re-elected, since we are getting closer to 2023 elections. There are some who are recontesting to be re-elected. Every citizen must therefore hold public officials accountable. This is not a role reserved for the few. It's not for the few. It is for the whole citizens who can elect, who can be at the polling stations to elect their leaders. Like the media, civil society groups, and the public should play a critical role in public disclosures about politicians' performance through their own engagements and investigation. The race toward improving accountability and the good governance begins now, and the power is in the people's hands. Because the people are the ones who will vote. They can vote out any political leader who underperformed his duty. The focus should be on encouraging the election of candidates who are trustworthy, competent, and committed to serving in the public's interest, building the Nigeria its citizens and young people hope to see. I hope with these few points, I can say
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu. I really appreciate you, sharing your perspectives. And yes, we are honestly wishing ourselves, we are wishing young people, step up, because it's one thing to say, yes, people should come out to vote. It's another thing to encourage young people to start taking ownership and leadership. It mustn't be on that alpine heights. For me, I feel it can be as little as being the street chairman or local government council chief or something. So thank you so much. On our next person is, I'm so happy to call this person because I don't know her, but I feel happy to hear a woman this time around. And please, I'm not biased. I just get happy when women start speaking and coming to the table of leadership, policy change, and politics. So please, Ruth Adodo, please unmute yourself and please share your thoughts on today's discussion.
All right, hello. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to NiGAC for this opportunity to share my thoughts on the 2023 electoral process and the 2023 elections. First of all, when I knew that this meeting was going to occur, the first thing that came to my mind was a particular scenario during the last elections when it's actually a culture of my family. When they are reading out the election results, it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks about Nigeria, we all gather and then we listen to the results, and then you can see that there is still a very strong interest in the Commonwealth of Nigeria amongst even the younger generation and the older generation. And one of the very basic things that comes to my mind when I think about the next leaders we are supposed to elect is the fact that we have to consider the current issues that face this country in particular. And I think the chief amongst those things is is our debt ratio, our debt to income ratio. And I think just yesterday, something that you also find very rampant amongst the discussions with the common man. You hear people always, even though they don't know the specific figures, but you know Nigeria is always in debt. Nigeria has always been in debt. And then to give specific figures that I derived from an article written by Tenilola Tayo, titled "The Stakes Are High as Nigeria Prepares for 2023 Elections." It says that the Nigerian government has allocated around 90% of its revenue to servicing debt, while turning to further domestic and international borrowing to meet other public expenditures. The figures itself are ridiculous, just hearing about it, and not to think about the fact that this is actually our plan for the next couple of years. It's a budget. This is our plan. This is how we plan to operate for the next couple of years. And another issue is the very high rate of unemployment. And this is not considering underemployment. As we know, it's very rampant in Nigeria. People earning much, much less than what they have qualifications for. And people actually having qualifications, but not being able to get commensurate work because persons cannot pay the equivalent for those qualifications. The unemployment rate as of now is about 35%. And then we also have the inflation rate at about 15% per year, which is very evident, even with the common man complaining about the increase in prices of common, even necessary goods that all of us need. And then there are also agitations as to the stake and the stability of our federation, agitations with the Biafra, people striving for the Biafran Republic and the Oduduwa Republic. Then we have the very high rise in violence, terrorism, crime. So these are the key issues that we should strive to hear from leaders that we are going to elect. If they do not address these issues on those forums that they are given to address them on their campaigns, I do not think any of such persons should be given a chance to rule this country, because we are not talking in the abstract, we are talking realities that every one of us face on a daily basis. So if they cannot address these issues, then they cannot relate with us and they cannot actually help us. So I think we should consider also the fact that if we do not make the right decisions at this point, we are going to have a very massive amount of migration, a very massive amount of brain drain, even much more than before. The survey says that 70% of Nigerians reported an interest in leaving Nigeria in the year 2021, compared to 35% in the year 2019. So we can see that a massive failure in policies implementation and a massive failure in our governance has caused a lot of Nigerians to decide to migrate because there does not seem to be a plan to move forward. So in considering factors also about Nigerians not being encouraged to vote and not being encouraged to participate in the electoral process. Number one, the electoral process is very expensive. You find tickets to contest for some major political positions are very, very expensive, which means they are trying to tell you you need some kinds of sponsors or godfathers in order to be able to get those positions, which ridicules the entire idea of independence of candidacy. And then we also have the issue of the fact that we do not implement most of our laws. The electoral act that has just been passed, the electoral bill that has just been passed into law is really, really great. But then how do we tackle the issue of it being implemented? How do we tackle the issue of it being put into action? A lot of Nigerians do not see action. A lot of Nigerians just see things being, laws being spat out, policies being rolled out, but there is no action. We need to put action so that people can be encouraged much more to participate in the electoral process. So I think when that particular day comes, or before the day comes, we need to ensure that these leaders are ready to respect us enough to talk to us. I remember in the last presidential elections, when on the forum where presidential candidates were supposed to explain their portfolios to us, I think Buhari was not even present. And then Atiku Abubakar walked out because his major opposition was not even present. So it was very disrespectful to Nigerians. And I completely lost hope in the viability of that election. Another thing we need to consider also are the current persons who are indicating interest in the presidency. We have the likes of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and former Senate President Bukola Saraki. So another thing we need to also consider is what are these persons' historical political records? They are not, okay, my time is up, so let me just round up, sorry. So we need to look at their political records. We need to look at their criminal records also, because even when it comes to the instance of a company, the company wants to appoint directors and things like that. They even look at things like that. They look at the records of this particular person, how much more persons in whose hands we place the commonwealth of the whole nation. So I think we have to really, really be careful in choosing who exactly we are going to elect, even for positions like local government chairman, even to presidency. I think we have to put all of these issues in perspective and see if they can address them actually. Thank you very much.
Wow, my God, that's a mouthful. Thank you so much, Ruth Adodo. I just want everybody to start engaging her on the chat box. Please just send her emojis. Somebody even said Ruth Adodo for president. Please, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing the economic implications, accountability also. We really, really appreciate it. And above all, I also want to thank NiGAC for this wonderful platform, because a lot of times, yes, we get all these speakers to come on board, but internally we find out that there are young people that are also looking forward to, speaking about issues like this and rubbing minds together. So please, Ruth Adodo, thank you so much for sharing these deep perspectives. I don't know if you're on the NiGAC platform, but please, I would like you to join the community, because you will see many amazing talents that are like you, that are really, I will not use the word compatriots, but because I know that there are also young people that, we are for the good of the country, but we're also thinking about leaving the country. But I'm also letting you know that there are also young people that are thinking like you, that are thinking of strategies, making sure that the Nigeria that we want, comes into fruition. So please try to see how you can join the NiGAC community. Let's keep this conversation going. Before I call on Faith Polinos, and I'm happy that she's representing, I'm not trying to be sentimental, but oh my God, women are fire. So please, before I welcome Faith Polinos, I see Fumilayo Adebite's hand up. Please, we would like you to make your comments before we go to the next speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much. So from what the speakers have said so far, I want to draw my point from what Mr. Olumide said earlier. From his own perspective, he gave example of 25 to 35 years being given free political form in order to contest for political office. That's great, yeah. But we also know that the elite the political office, they inflated the nomination form, which we know that is bizarre, and it shows the high level of corruption in the society. But now, from my own experience in Nigerian politics, yeah, when you expect somebody that has never tasted a position of power to perform extremely well, at the end of the day, they go there and they disappoint us as usual. If you look at the case of President Buhari, before President Buhari attained the position of power, you will see that many people were looking at him that he's going to give us hope, he's going to change so many things. So it gave people's high whole expectation in his government, which I cannot fully say with my mouth that we are highly disappointed. So what am I saying now? If we say that somebody is young, fine. From my own thinking, I've been thinking about this for a while. Don't you think that these young people, youthful exuberance, has not left these people totally, especially people from 25 to 35 years, from my people that I've worked with, and yeah, from my own leadership point of view. But what I'm saying is that from what Ruth Adodo said, that we must look into their political record. I think that's very important. So we should consider what they have passion for. Let's have a good background check. A good background check will help us sorry, I can't do my video because I just came out from the bedroom. So I was listening all through and I was giving a keen attention to this. So I think we should have a great background check on all these political contestants, not just saying that somebody is young, but somebody is 25 years, somebody is 35 years. I think people that are even 40 years, they are more productive than people we look that they are young, 25. Are they ready? That's my own point. That's my own bone of contention here. Do you understand? So like Ruth Adodo said, let's look at the background check. Look at Amechi. What has Amechi done so far when he was elected as a governor? I'm very sorry today to say this because I watch political stuff a lot and I don't want to be picking all of them. So if we are discussing this and want to bring it to table to move forward and not to be biased in maybe because I'm supporting this person, because I've been benefiting from this person and been doing this, let's look at what they've been doing when they were nobody, when they did not even know anything, when they've not even joined any political stuff. Let's see what they do. So thank you very much. That's my own observation about the whole scenario. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Fumi. You absolutely echoed all our concerns and all. And I liked what you said, in terms of reiterating what Ruth said. It's about accountability. And it's not just about the age. Like you said, there are some, if we say young people should delve into maybe say politics or leadership, how well are they even doing? So I really am echoing all that you have said. And yes, thank you so much for also sharing your thoughts on that. So on to the next. I see a lot of hands are raised. Yes, we like that. This is a very good, very interactive session. So before I call on the people who hands are raised, please keep raising your hands if you don't mind. I will call on Faith Paulinus to share her perspective. So is Faith on the call?
Absolutely, I'm on the call. Good afternoon, everyone.
Faith, oh wow, I thought you were female, but there you go. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, faith is a universal currency and it answers virtually to everyone. Thank you very much, NiGAC team, and thank you, Amanda, for this opportunity. In fact, thank you for, it's just like giving the mic back to the people to say their minds and aspirations as it has to do with the 2023 elections. And what is the citizens' expectations? The citizens' expectations are quite very high. And for us as young persons, we have a greater role, a very big role to play. For number one, most of the thoughts I wanted to share had already been shared, and I like the perspective that Ruth Adodo came in with, around the fiscal transparency aspect of governance. That's one of the aspects that we want to see, some sort of change, some sort of reforms, planning for the nation, planning for the citizens. Most of the time, the nation makes a plan, and then most of these plans are not yet are not being sticked to. Most of these plans are not being followed to the letter. Most of the plans are not does not really bring development outcomes to the citizens. So citizens are yearning to see, but even at the subnational level and at the national level, a government that will come and then turn campaign promises into development outcomes. So that's one aspect that citizens really have high expectations. Again, another aspect that citizens mindset is really should I say awaken the most is the aspect of political participation. Citizens are now fully aware and now fully ready to participate in the aspect of governance to ensure that, number one, their votes really count. Number two, they protect their votes. Number three, they ensure that they demand accountability from leaders. And this is one aspect that everyone needs to come into play. For instance, for us here, I'm calling in from Akwa Ibom. As a citizens, we've tried our possible best at the organizational level and even as individuals to hold government accountable. For instance, if we could listen, sometime the state government was about getting a loan of 150 billion, and from the Commissioner for Finance, the Commissioner for Finance said that it's a financial instrument, using a language to confuse citizens. And we mobilized citizens to say, no, this is a loan. And then who are the ones to pay this loan? It's the youth that wants to pay this loan. And we stopped that process. So citizens are, really watching out to see, is the government coming to borrow to keep more to keep burden to the future, or is the government coming in to alleviate what burden has been there over time? Is the government that is coming in with more creative ways of generating income, ensuring that there's economic stability all around everywhere? There's this cry for a change in paradigm, and citizens have their different perspective. I believe, let me not bog us much more, because much of the thoughts I wanted to share has already been captured with, and I know others are going to take other perspective to it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Faith Paulinos. It was very enlightening to hear your perspective. So before I go to our next speaker, we see 4 hands raised, and yes, we love that. So keep your conversations coming, keep your thoughts coming, keep your echoes coming. So I would call on Mr. Olalekan Omisore. After that, I will welcome Amatu Latif Ishak, then Mr. Oladayo and Christian Apabio in this, the way I mentioned it. So Mr. Olalekan, can you unmute and share?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I really must say that it is a step in the right direction. So like Ruth has said, like Ruth has said, we need to look at the antecedents of these people. We need to be sure that these people have a record that we can actually look at, not just voting based on emotions or sentiments. It's from my tribe, it's from my religion and all whatnot. Like, let's take, for example, 2015, Buhari had an antecedent. It was there for 4 years, and we didn't really see anything other than the body languages that people were shouting about. And then come 2019, everybody still voted for him. Buhari had an antecedent. He was military president before he even became civilian president. Did we bother to look at his antecedents then? No, we didn't. Everybody were voting based on the fact that they didn't like Jonathan. But it was not just 2 people contesting. If we don't like Jonathan, we don't have to bring in Buhari, who we know has record from the past. There are other people we can always look at. So it is time for us to look beyond APC, PDP, actually. And if APC is not giving us the kind of leader that is going to set Nigeria right, and PDP has failed also to bring somebody up who is up to the task, we need to start looking for a third force who would support. And in 2023, I think we should not vote based on sentiments. If a politician is saying, oh, I'll provide 50 million jobs in 1 month, we should be able to ask, how do you intend to do it? And then I know you will come up with one how, then see how realistic the how is. It's not by coming to tell us that you give every youth 5,000 every month and then everybody's supporting you because of that. We need to be able to hold on to something tangible, something that is worthwhile. We don't want just fallacies. We don't want just fairy tales anymore. I think that is my own contribution.
Yes, thank you so much, Olalekan Omisore. What a wonderful contribution. Yes, I totally agree with you. I will give you one scenario. I'm not going to mention their names, but everybody, when I say it, I'm sure we may be able to identify what happened. So we still have 2 persons that are wanting to come in, are vying for presidency. And there was this leaked video. I think it's not even leaked, it's all over. One went on Channels TV and took us through the process on how he intends to, ensure that our economy thrives if he's being elected as president. Then we had another one that said on national TV and was like, just give me this power, just give me this power. So his mindset was not about enlightening people and letting them know how the process or what the strategy is going to be like. He is only focused on power. So I'm really echoing what you are saying. We need to start asking these leaders questions, how they want to do it. That way we understand that they have they have plans for us in their hearts. So next person hand raised is Mr. Oladayo Ogumbowale. Sorry about that. Please, you have the mic.
All right, I want to say a very good afternoon to everyone on this call. I believe I'm audible enough.
Yes, please.
All right, great. Great discussions, and just reminds me of myself some few years back. I'm going to speak from the perspective of someone in government, because I'm actually in government right now. I would not bother you or bore you with where. 2023, and I'm going to try to be as factual as possible. It might be too late to start using the word like galvanizing right now. The average politician prepares for the next election right after they either win or lose one. And so when people, not necessarily young people, when people begin to speak few months to the election that you're going to galvanize, it's unusually and unfortunately pretty too late. But then, what can still be done? To start with, I hope we're all registered to vote. That's the basis. If there's someone on this Zoom meeting that is not registered to vote, I think all the Turenchi, which is the English you have been speaking, is just as good as, an essay in your pocket that was never submitted to be graded. So that's the basis. If you have not yet registered, please do. I think that's the best way I can craft that. Secondly, if you have registered to vote, you have a PVC, then we can proceed to the next level, and that is being active. When I say being active here, it begins from being aware of the politics at your community level. It's easy to come on Zoom meetings, also a media practitioner, or go on TV or radio and criticize government at different levels. But then the question is, are you active at your level? Do you even know your ward chairman? You can start from there. How many people on this Zoom meeting know the person making decision in their ward, the councillor? Do you know your local government chairman? It might look like inconsequential, but then that's where politics is local. If you're going to become president of Nigeria in any political party, you must go to your ward and get a party ticket. Yes, the ward is the cell of each political party. And that should tell us something, that as young people, as people generally, activity, not activism now, activity in the political space starts from the ward. If you can decide that in your ward, and the easiest way to know your ward is just locate where they used to vote on your street or the closest polling unit to your house. I can assure you the ward secretariat for either of any major party will be close around there. You need to be in charge where you are. You don't have to be the person calling the shots, but do they know you? Do the people that matter know you? If someone wants to contest in that area, are you one of the people they would like to consult? Not just because you have any political position or because you have anything, as the case may be, but can people say, oh, on these streets, no, this is one of our gatekeepers. I hope you understand my use of the word gatekeeping here, that you're a major stakeholder beginning from there. Friends, that is where it begins. That is where the job begins. I speak as someone who was practically a nobody, but had my voice heard and got invited, to do certain things. I will not bore you with my story again, but really, you must be active beginning from your location. Telling people, don't vote this, don't vote that. I smile when people say a lot of these things. The truth is, no third force can win a general election in Nigeria in 2023. I'm not being pessimistic. It's just the truth. We know how these things run. Everyone here, at least that have witnessed one or two general elections in Nigeria, know it's always a two-horse race at the end of the day. So why not be active and ensure that you have a stake beginning from where you are? Now, I'm going to end this way because someone might be thinking, so is this guy telling us that we should not comment? No, 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 no. You have a right to comment. Please feel free. Okay. But then if you ask around political stance, they will let you know that the majority can always have their say, but the minority that are in charge will always have their way. So the most important thing is to ensure that if you must be in that minority or the majority, ensure that you are a stakeholder, beginning from where you are. Make sure you are an active citizen where you are. That's what matters most. That is what matters. Very soon, governors will start campaigning in all local governments. Presidents will start roaming every state across the country because they know they need to reach out to the people. Are you active enough to be able to make a statement when any of these guys come around? I think that's where it begins. The last part, which may not be general enough, is that join a political party, learn the ropes. You will discover that it's beyond textbook. In fact, the politics of Nigeria is not written in any political science textbook. That's the truth. But it takes being inside to know how it is done. I'm going to stop there so that at least others can contribute. Thank you for having me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Oladayo. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, ladies, NiGAC House, please, Mr. Oladayo is actually the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Oyo State on media. And thank you so much for sharing this deep perspective. It's good that we have somebody in the system who can give us a different perspective and a good narrative, about good governance and young people delving into leadership positions. So I will call on Amatulatif, and followed by yes, Christian Akpabio, then we have Godwin, then we go back to the list. So Amatulatif, on to you, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm very grateful for having the opportunity to speak on this platform. Thank you so much. Well, I'm okay. I joined a little bit late. I'm sorry for that. I had a little technical issue where there's no lights. I'm here to charge and stuff. Everybody have said a lot. In fact, when I know people have talked, and I met Shrut, and I was like, wow, we have a lot to say, and we are so sad with the situation of the country. And anywhere I go now, there's discussions on media everywhere. It's like everybody now, we are now focused, we are now awakened to the problem of the country. Unlike before, where people neglect what is happening in the country. They were like, well, that's them. But this thing it has gotten to the grassroots. Everybody is now aware, and I'm grateful for that. And I think with this should prefer solutions. When everybody is aware of the problem, I think solutions will come in by God's grace. And thank you very much for NiGAC for bringing this opportunity, for making us say this. We never can know where this kind of discussions can lead to and what it can result to. I'm very sure it's going to result to something very good in the future. Everybody have said a lot. There are just some few things I need to add. One of them is, it's so painful that a lot of youth are very wary of Nigeria. Trust me. We have been doing some civic engagement recently, and one will be so frustrated with things. The reply when you're giving talks and you're in a hall talking and to youth, and you'll be so bombarded with a lot of frustrated opinions, I don't know how to put it, but trust me, the masses are wary, the youths are wary, and it's something that needs to seriously, something has to be done. Like what Ms. Ruth said, this brain drain is becoming something else. It's I don't know, it's like a slap, it's a shame, it's I don't know what to call it again on us as a country and society we are all living in. And the beautiful thing is that there are a lot of people that are so things, the youths are so enlightened, there are a lot of people are so educated, are so knowledgeable, but nowhere to even put what the put to use what they have. This now brings me to, yeah, well, this thing when I talk about, there was a time while talking to what should I call it? Adding to what Mr. Oladayo, sorry, is it Oladayo? Mr. Oladayo Oyebo Wali, what he said. There was recently we had a training, sensitization and registration for people on the PV sensitization under the organization Constitution Lab, supported by American consulates. I was one of the speakers. And the main thing I kept telling these youth is that you just have to be inclusive, because a lot of them are just talking about problems. And I had to go back to what Mr. Ladayo said. I told them, how many of you truly know when the council on your ward, when it was chosen? Do you know who he is? Do you not even know his life? Do you know what should I call it? His profile? They can say, okay, something's happening in this community. Are you aware? Even as small as your CDA, are you doing something there? Are you being active? So we have to start, before we can say we want to go up, youth want to stand, like what Ms. Ruth said. Is it Ms. Ruth or sorry, I don't know, one of the speaker. Youth want to go, want to rule, want to be governor, want to be president. Have we actually done have we done our assignment at the grassroots level? Have we done a lot? Have we done what you're supposed to do at the grassroots level? We have to start there first. I kept upping on them. I long run they were able to understand me. I said, if we don't, what should I call it, permit that level, we can't move forward. Because you as a youth, when you want to go to the government, you want to win as a governor, as a president, but you haven't know how to run a community. You haven't know how the policy of the community is being run. Then you may not really have what it takes when you get there. Also, you may end up becoming what those there now, what they are becoming. I don't know what is the problem. Why you see someone that is good, that has a very good profile, that you've known all your life, and just get up there and they become something else. I don't know. We don't know. Like Oladayo said, there's something wrong with Nigerian politics that is not being practiced anywhere, and we hope we know. Yeah. So this now brings me again back to the discussion that we had among ourselves, one of group I belong to, is like there has to be how can I call it, the leadership, is it course or like leadership course or a footprint, leadership guidelines or course that youth have to be taken through. I don't know whether you understand me. Like every school, if it can be started now, because no change happens, what should I call it? Change does not happen instantly. It has to be a gradual process. It has to be over the years. It has to happen over the years. But I think we have to go back, because I realize there's a deficit somewhere that is happening to people up there now that we have to correct if we want to see the Nigeria we are all looking for. Every school, and from secondary school to the university, I don't know how it can be incorporated. Leadership courses have to be incorporated. Because when someone, you see that sometimes the youth that is, you see someone that is very sound, that is intelligent, that is this, but when you don't have that leadership quality, you have a problem at the long run. So I think probably when we go back to school, to university, all these courses have to be enforced on everybody. Because I'm saying this because I realize that I've gone through some leadership courses in Nigeria here and some African countries, and trust me, anyone that has gone through a very sound leadership course, and if you are a leader, you can never compare a leader that has gone through a very seasoned training with someone that hasn't. You never be really the same. The way you think will never be the same. The way you do. So, but if someone that is we are youth and truly we want to rule, but we can't just rule on just our knowledge alone, on just our education alone. We've done political science, we've done this, you've gone to Harvard. You have to go through some level of training. In fact, empathy, I don't want to start boring ourselves. They love things we need to learn. So if that thing can be done, probably a ripple effect of a new successive generation of brand new leaders can then be born, and we can then have a new process where we have leaders that the kind of leaders we want. Because I realize that our level, the rate at which we are doing politics, is different from other countries, and it's I don't know, it's kind of, it's not helpful. We are not seeing any hope in the future that, okay, this is what we can gain in the nearest future if we do this. So I think we need to just re-strategize, like recreate some things and start with the youth now. So the change will start now, and then in the future, because I know solution is the solution, and we just have to look at how we can do it. We just have to look at strategize all our solutions and what we think can be effective to win Nigerians. Because I realize that another thing I think I realized that we can, the situation we found ourselves in Nigeria now, we can't take a particular system of a country and say this is what we're going to use to rule Nigeria. I think what we can do is, let's look at all the countries that have that succeed. Probably, let me say, maybe are succeeding in their political or electoral processes and stuff. Let's take things from pointers from them, because I think one thing can never work for us in Nigeria. So by the time we take 1, 2, 3 from different countries, we can then harness them and think, okay, which one can be useful for us as Nigerians, also we can be useful for us in Nigeria, to now reform the Nigerian system. Because, and I think it can happen with we youths. Thank God for NiGAC. We have a platform like NiGAC and probably some other platforms that we have. If this discussion is now coming in, okay, fine. All of us have looked at all different countries. These are the things they can use. What is good for us? What can be good for us? Let's bring them together and try to think, okay, if you do this, can it be beneficial to Nigeria? So I think if we can do that, let all these bodies look at what, because trust me, these discussions cannot just continue going on without we looking for one perfect solution for Nigeria. It may not even be one, like solutions that Nigeria need, because we need solution. I'm so tired, I'm so sad. I don't even know, you get to a state where you don't even know what to tell some youth again. By the time you are giving them this, they're throwing back some enormous, frustrated opinion to you. They're throwing it back at you, and you don't have answers for them. So I think we need solutions, and we need.
Okay. Wow, that's a mouthful. Thank you so much. You said quite a lot, and I hope we all listen to Amatu Latif. Thank you so much. One thing that I know that struck me was about this inner mindsets, because leadership, like you said, most times we get to have this understanding, but it's not really instilled in us. So I believe our mindset has to change so that whatever we are intending to bring come 2023 is going to be eternalized. So thank you so much for that. On the next is Christian Akpabio. Please, Christian Akpabio, please share your perspective.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christian Akpabio. I'm calling from White House. I have practically 90% of what I want to do. But I would like to emphasize on Mr. Tayo said, go and get your people. You cannot be speaking about voting and you are not voting. Forgive me, I can't go on the salon. I came to go like and you cannot speak about CPCs. You cannot speak about elections when you don't have this. Secondly, we are dealing with election matters. We are dealing with black. So whatsoever we want to do, the orientation and the orientation is start from the class.
Hello, Mr. Christian. Mr. Christian Akpabio, I think you may need to maybe change where you are so that we can hear you well. It's coming out distorted, please.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, try again. Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Sorry for that. I was talking about first. The buyer has already said if you don't get our fees,
We cannot be talking about elections, about voting, and we don't have activities. Let's also have faith in the country we're about to change. Secondly, let's talk about the orientation of the grassroots, because election happens in the grassroots, not just from the key men. When we have been invited into all the stakeholders meeting, if I am invited, you are invited. Both of us already know that election is not a door that the mechanic, the organizer, the two boys, the whoever, don't know this. So we need to go deep down on the ground. It's the gas work, picking and reorientating them. And thirdly, last week, so I was thinking about this. I had a conversation with one of my boss, Joss, and he said, what about if the NGOs or the CSO, those that are in charge of the governments and happen to meet all these parties and sit with them when they are interviewing and clearing what's it called, these candidates. You know, at the end of the day, we only see what the party can give us. They played Mr. A, and Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C bought the form, and they now call them for interviews and clearance. They now play Mr. C. It's Mr. C that they are presenting to us. That's the best we vote for. What about if we go when they are interviewing them? What about if they have a seat? For example, if we just finished, I was talking to one of my friends that bought tickets for, I think, State House Assembly. And I asked him what was the question they asked him when they went to it. He said just laughed. They shook hands and asked, now that's how they how was the night and sleep and how the end. What about if the CSOs and the NGOs go there and have and contribute into the question and give us a good product so that we know that we are voting something, not whatever they give us and push them. To save all these votations, languages, and voters at the end of the day, why not find a way and move into their interviews and see how we can interview them, question them, and at the end, we produce something. Thank you very much. And I would like to say a big thank you to the anchor and big thank you to NiGAC. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christian Akpabio. I'm trusting that we can have a better platform that we could hear your perspectives better, but also thank you so much for sharing and contributing to this in this program. Before I call on Godwin Ogene-Diaz, I just want to highlight the remaining 4 persons on the call. Let's know if they are on the call or not. So we have, okay, we've taken Mr. Oladayo Ogumbowale. We have Bonaventure Bobai Ashio. We have Temitope Popola. We also have Niniola Owolabi and Temitope Adeyemi. Kindly signify by maybe raising up your hands or putting on the chat that you are available. That way we get to know that you're on the call. So yes, we would welcome Godwin Ogene-Diaz for his own perspective and contribution today. So Godwin, please take the lead.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon once more. I want to thank everyone that has contributed so far. Everybody, we've all spoken well. Most especially, I want to thank Mr. Dayo. He actually said something that resonates with me. I like to be factual. I like to be factual. You know, I understand that yes, we can be the spirit of activism or ginger. You know, we need to be involved, thoughtful, and all we can do. You know. But it's also good and wise that we take stock of where we were, you know, and where we are and what the future holds for us. Okay, so if we look at it critically and properly, the Nigerian political setting, Nigerian political class, it's not actually set up. It's not set up to benefit the masses. If we're going to be honest with ourselves, apart from some very few selected individuals, politicians, probably governors, you know, maybe one or two of them that you can mention, okay, this one is truly altruistic, this one can, has vision, this one is doing so well. You can count them. we don't have very good visionary leaders whose work will stand years and years after they are no more there. Probably leaders like Jakonde, Latif Jakonde, that probably built the estate that I'm currently in right now. You know, so we don't have them much. I was somewhere last week and in Lagos, and you know, somebody that is, I think he was local government chairman. He has bought this place, has bought this place, has bought, you know. So right now, if we're going to be true to ourselves, almost everybody sees politics as another, the jackpot means, I want to make money. Politics is a very good way of making money, you know. So this now calls for our involvement. And like Mr. Dayo said, you know, we need to be involved. We need to be involved. The good guys that actually want things to work well for everybody. We need to be more involved. And for me, I'm going to just be truthful. Either people say the PDP, the NPC, they are the devils and all. If you give me the opportunity right now, if I'm going to choose, we'll still have to be one of these parties, honestly, because I can't see, you say third force and all, but imagine coming out for either a governorship or presidential position. You know, the way Nigerian electoral system is set up is so much expensive. You know, somebody mentioned how much to get presidential form for APC and PDP the other time. It's also expensive. This is just to get the form alone, 0.1 billion. You know, not to talk of other stuffs you are going to spend, the other amount, consultation, going from one state to the other. I read somewhere that Peter Obi is stingy. He doesn't want to give delegates money and all that. So you can imagine that people even expect you to give out money. You know, it's as if you want to, and this money that you are giving out, where is it coming from? You're going to recoup it. You know, the people that are giving you this money, they are going to get their money back. You know, so our political system or structure is set up in such a way to enable corruption, to enable non-accountability, and to enrich the active players themselves. So I don't know how we're going to do it. You know, it may, like Mr. Dayo said, that he doesn't want to say it's almost too late, but I think we probably need to be more involved and sensitizing people, and that's where education actually comes in. That's where education comes in, because I think I was watching one political talk by Sahara TV, and the man was saying that for you to oil politics at the grassroots level, you need to sort people, you need to pay people money. Somebody gives birth, he needs to call you at the local government chairman. My wife has given birth. You know, you need to oil, and this involves money. So at the end of the day, it's actually a mess. You know, so it's why we all need to be involved. If you say everybody that has PVC raise up their hand in this chat room, you'll find out that most of us, more than half of us, we don't have PVC. So we all need to be involved. We need to be involved, and I think it starts from us. So we can't be pushing out. We need better. We need changes. And whereas we ourselves, we never have PVCs. Okay, I think I have my own PVC, so I can actually talk. You know, so we need to sell that market or that idea more, that we all need to be involved, and irrespective of the party, we need to be involved. So thank you. That's just my own submission.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Godwin. So yes.
Hello, Amanda.
Yes, please.
This is Chris.
Chris. Okay.
Yes. I would want to correct an impression that have been stated over and over again by the people here, and also it across the different boards in Nigeria, and that is the fact that that is the position rather that politics involves giving. I need to correct this. Politics is not charity. The fact that you want to contest for a political position doesn't necessarily imply that you need to be giving to people at local level, at grassroots. with your personal fund. That is not politics. That is you trying to, I don't want to use the term lobby for vote, but still yet it's a very wrong way of doing politics, because that is what is making politics expensive, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. The fact that you give to people who are of the lower level. Later, that's why when they win these elections, they don't come back to those same people to help them. They just stay there. So politics is different from charity. If you want to do politics, follow political process, and don't be involved with spending your money unnecessarily because you want to get something that you know that when you come back to power, when you come to that same that political position, you would have to do as much as possible corruption in order to recover times 10 of what you have spent. That is why politics is expensive, because of the charity tune behind it. Please, everyone, charity is not politics, and politics is not charity. If you want to work for people, work with public fund. There's public treasury, work with that fund. Do things that will impact people generally, not individually. Thank you.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much. All is well and understood. I know we may have points, to either be for or against, maybe, or to correct what maybe speakers may have said, but please just kindly raise your hands and we'll call you. Remember, today is a town hall meeting where everybody's perspective and contribution will be accepted. So before I call on the next, I want us to go to the chat box and see that we have a poll. We want to gather your feedback. We want to know what exactly are your perspectives to, do things better. So kindly fill the feedback form for today's session. Also know that it's going to be closing 2 hours after the session. I will just advise you to just, it's a very short form. So please just quickly fill it. Let's understand what you think about today's session. So I'm going to call Dr. Joel, but Dr. Joel, promise me that you will act accordingly. I know I trust you, but yes, please, because I know you asked what's your point, but please just give us your contribution and your perspective, even if it may be different from what the last 2 speakers said. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Joel, NiGAC, non-resident fellow. I'm in Botswana. Everybody has spoken excellently. There's something I just want to pass across, right? In 2007, a group of professionals from Edo State approached then Labour leader, Oshomole, and made him contest for the governorship of Edo State. The election was rigged. They went to court, Oshomole won. He became governor, served 2 terms. We know the history. This afternoon, I was talking with some people and I said, for me, as I see it, if PDP delegates don't field Obi, then shame on them. Because I believe that Obi is the president that Nigeria needs on the side of APC. I also like Oshibanjo, right? And then they were telling me that, oh no, this idea that the delegates are not going to give it to him because he won't spend money, the establishment, they are corrupt. And I told the person, I said, Obi fought the establishment in Anambra State through the courts. In fact, in one speech that Obi was giving, he said when the House of Assembly impeached him, it was a judge that he didn't know. He never met the judge that overturned the impeachment. The point is, look, there are good people in Nigeria. The courts are still working. This was at the time when we didn't even have the kind of electoral reforms that we have now. The current electoral bill as amended is a good thing. It arouses hope in a lot of us. We should be hopeful. The reason why I said, what is your point, is because almost the last 2 or 3 speakers, they were dampening the mood. Forgive me. Oh, you have to, yes, you have to go to the local level, you have to do this, you have to do this. But look, we have a better electoral law. Now, when we talk about participation, we're not talking about presidency alone. Local government, chairmanship, councillorship, House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senate. Imagine if SDP controls the House of Rep in a state, and then the governor is PDP, there will be accountability. They have no choice. Imagine if ADC wins half the seats in a House of Assembly, or 1/3 of the constituency of House of Rep in a state. There will be accountability. Policies will work better. Better laws will be made. Better reforms will be made. The point is this: the idea that you can only win an election in 2 political parties in Nigeria today, we need to perish that thought. Scripture says, casting down every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Christ. We must cast down, we must kill or perish every thought that says you can only win an election in APC or PDP. Thank you.
Wow, I was, hallelujah, Dr. Joel. Thank you so much.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes, like Ruth has just said, an opposition government is needed. We need to start holding these presidents, the governors, our chairmen, we need to start holding them accountable. It's not just at the top level, like most of us have said, but I'm also thinking aloud. Look at the number of persons that are here, 20 vibrant, amazing people that even if you are in Nigeria or you're in diaspora, you are still saying things on better governance. So imagine us replicating this far and wide in our local communities, in our streets. We can do a lot. I'm always of the opinion that talk is cheap, in the sense that we need to start walking the talk. So thank you so much, Dr. Joel. That was a very beautiful one. I will call on Mr. Adeshino Owoyemi. Then we start taking in questions or maybe any extra points that we want to make. But personally today, I feel so excited for like hearing amazing women and men, you know, come on board to share their different perspectives. So let us welcome Adeshino Owoyemi for his contribution today.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Please proceed, sir.
All right, thank you so much. To start with, I really want to appreciate those who put up this chat room and the initiative. I must say that we need to have more of this and keep the conversation going, especially as Nigeria prepares to elect a new set of leaders, because every election presents us with an opportunity to vote in or vote out people, and it matters our perception, it matters our mindset at a time as this, even though Nigerian youth constitutes a larger percentage of the voting population, but we don't seem to be on the same page. And until we realize that we have to be on the same page, we'll continue to be at the receiving end. The old elite will continue to take decisions for us, and we may just remain where we are. In specific terms, I feel that as individuals, we have to take the conversation to our communities. We belong to one family or the other, and the family we belong to, they may not really understand the weight of the decision that they are making. But you are familiar, you have grasp of what is happening, and you have a dream of where the nation should be. You should be able to engage your family. You should be able to engage people in your sphere of contact. Your parents, your grandpas, the older ones, talk to them and let them realize, because some of them, what we see is that the normal, an average human being will reason based on what is a need for me, okay? Because the hierarchy of needs, according to Abraham Maslow, which is saying that the physiological needs of man matters, in reference to what the last speaker is saying, that politics is not charity and charity is not politics. But because people want to think of what do I get first, the poverty in the land makes people feel, okay, if politicians are coming, even if it's not politics, you go as a minister of the gospel, maybe you have a flyer you want to give someone, and they're saying that, is it money you want to give me? It has gotten to that extent that people think in the money-minded way first, before they think of, is this thing of larger benefit? We don't have that sense of charity, that sense of humanity. We have lost it completely. And because people see the leaders as being all about themselves. So they feel, okay, for me too, it's all about me, because they don't see any leadership that cares anywhere. So we have to start providing leadership at every level that you belong to that organization. Let them see that, oh, there's someone here. It's not about being in position. Leadership is not about positional leadership. It will be purposeful leadership. You may just be a member of a group, and in that group, everybody knows that. Of course, you're not holding an office, but they know that you care about the advancement of the cause that has brought all of you together. Another very vital thing is, they're not too young to run a bill allows that youth can now take part in politics. But to what extent are the youth of today presenting themselves as trustworthy in terms of, if you give them power, can they really deliver? How many youth of our own age? Look at the meeting that was called down. I don't know how long this thing was put out there. I just saw it on the loop, and I decided to click on the link not long ago. I know I joined the meeting late, but how many youth are willing to engage in a conversation as this? And if they are even willing to engage, do they have the capacity to comprehend this level of discourse? Education is faulty. The people are not willing to take in information. They just want to take in money. So we have to start restructuring the process. Besides, in reference to what the last speaker said, that's is it Mr. God's will or so? Okay, so we have to take the conversation to, for instance, 44 bills as part of the constitutional amendment that are being sent to the state houses of assembly. Some of these bills involve very critical policies such as local government autonomy. This is not the first time that such is going to be done. The feedback we get, many of them return dead because the states would influence the state, I mean, the governors would influence the state's lawmakers to pass something that is not in the benefit of the majority. So we have to, the moment we have to get information to know when these bills are going to be examined, or the reading is going to be done in different state houses of assembly, and let the conversation go on from there. Look at how they threw out the gender-based related bills, about 5 of them. Let us go to the state houses, because you can't go to Abuja, you may not be able to afford it, they may not open the doors, but at your states, find out, let's put ourselves together, go to Ogun State, go to your states, let us register our president. This is where we stand on this bill. Enough of allowing the lawmakers to decide for us. Let us follow what they are doing, bumper to bumper, know when they are sitting on a particular bill, register our president that this is our position. Look at what happened in those states, where a particular lawmaker, some set of students got angry and they attacked, I mean, some set of youth rather, got angry and they attacked the lawmaker. Well, you have to start holding our leaders accountable. If they do, that's what they do in India, because you know that if you don't deliver, they will throw you into the gutter. But a situation where somebody will not deliver, will still come ask for re-election and will still vote that person. Enough of that. We have to know that this is what is right, and let's be on the same page as youth. Then let's use our number effectively, regardless of what that youth is, whether the youth is a Yahoo guy. Let's ensure that Yahoo guy will on the same page, that this is the candidate that we want and this is the one that we don't want. I think we are, by so doing, we can begin to effect the change that we want. And let's begin to have conversation as this regularly. I raise my case. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Additional. That was amazing. Yes, we have gone past time, but I can tell you that it was a wonderful 1 hour plus exciting moment to gather everybody's perspective, and I agree. I'm trusting that NiGAC will put up another amazing town hall meeting where we would gather better thoughts, better perspective. I'm not saying that this one is not better anyway. I'm just trying to make us understand that there are also different perspectives and contributions that we can, listen to, and, start seeing how to put one or two things in place, and above all, walk the talk. Personally, I'm looking forward to hearing from Amos, Bossman, Buhari, Dr. Joel. Again, I would like to also hear from Christopher and all, but we're hoping that we will have another session, more enlightening, more enriching, encompassing women, men, different perspectives, even from different localities and different zones. But, we as Nigerians coming to talk about these issues. So having said that, please, I'm encouraging us to fill the feedback forms, and yes, we'll get back to you, and we look forward to hearing from you. Before we call it a close, I just want to say thank you all so much for giving us the opportunity to have this ground talk, and above all, we also respect and adore everyone for having this conversation in a very professional and mature way. So thank you all so much. Before I yield the mic to Elder or a representative in NiGAC to give a closing remark, I don't know if one person has just one comment, but by the way, please use the chat box, celebrate all our speakers, just put in emojis and all, just celebrate them, thank them so much for sharing their thoughts. It's not easy giving us your time today on Saturday, so we want to say thank you so much. So please just put it on the chat box, celebrate them and thank them for giving us this time.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, and use the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and true. Great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.